Hello, everybody. I am just as excited to chat to you today as I was yesterday. But today we're going to have a very, very laid back and possibly a nice short session today. I wanted to apologize again. Yesterday, for those of you who joined us yesterday, there's no attendance, there's no obligation to. Oh, hey, everybody. Um, but if you joined us yesterday, I did run a little bit over because I got very, very excited and was having a nice time. Today, we're going to be talking about another project. So I'm not going to give you too much. The projects are you don't have to do them on your own because we'll help you in the chat, we'll help you in the forum, we'll help you in the Discord. That's what you call a chat these days, isn't it? But one thing I really want from all of you is to be really creative with your projects, if that's okay. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're just going to have a very laid back day today. Very, very messy today, very relaxed. Here, let's go back one and see what this should look like. Well, I mean, we don't need any more Flexbox. We'll use more Flexbox. But here it's the tribute page. And I want to build an app that's functionally similar. Okay, so same general vibe, I believe the kids might say, to this one. So we've got a header, I bet. And if we wanted to, oh gosh, what was the shorthand for dev tools? Was it F12? Yes, it was F12. We could take a look and say, oh, what's going on here? We've got a main, HTML we expect, head. And one cool thing about DevTools is as I highlight this in the code, check out how it highlights this on the actual website as well. Oh, here's where main lives. Okay, we've got to get. Oh, where's that div? Show me that div. Oh, that div is not moving around. Oh, that's exciting. So, well, goodbye, DevTools. So what we're going to do is make a tribute page. And the hard thing is, I'm going to need you all to suggest. Nobody's going to steal your idea. Who do you want to do a tribute page of? It can be somebody alive. It doesn't have to be somebody dead. Woof. But who do you want to say, oh, I think this person is so cool that I want to make a page about their life. And I'm looking at my bookshelf to see if I've got sort of a candidate. But let me know your ideas. Who do you want to do? I see Ramon in the chat. Ramon, you log off and you go have a nice day. He works too hard. What do we think? Oh, do you know what? How about I've been reading this. Well, I've read this once or twice now, and I really like it. What about Angela Davis? Is Angela I think, yeah. I usually do a linguist, but Angela Davis has been doing cool stuff around civil rights advocacy and now abolitionism prism stuff. It's very, very cool. And and we've got somebody who made a really good point to say, oh, can I do Dracula? I'd be like, you know what? You don't have to do was Dracula a real person? You could do the actual historical person that it was based on, or you can do a fictional person. I am joyously not the boss of you. And I'm just picking on Ramon. Oh, we've got people from New Jersey. We've got other people in the UK. Oh, I hope the weather's better where you're at. Oh, no, you don't. Somebody was saying, you don't have to be kidding. If you want to do a fictional person, that's fine. The only thing we really want to see is that stuff works, that it passes the tests. Obviously, you shouldn't break the code of conduct for the bootcamp. If you're just joining us off the internet, hello. We're running a free web development bootcamp. You can find out more. Let me find out the banner at classcentral.com. Or if you don't want to enroll, that's not a big deal. You can just hang out with us here. Oh, where am I? Here we are. So remember from last time that these user stories gave us sort of the instructions. And they're not going to give us all of the instructions, though. So what we're gonna sorry, I'm laughing because somebody suggested we should call it a boop camp. It's quite cute, isn't it? But it's not giving us everything we need. I'm a happy developer as a lazy developer, and I am the laziest developer possible. We've got somebody who says they're stuck on the nutrition label. Can you go ahead and hop into the Discord or hop into the form, and we'll make sure we get you unstuck. Like, everyone's so helpful. Oh, thank you very much. I was about to say, "Oh, my fabulous assistant," but that's not true. That's my glorious colleague, Kinjal, who's not my assistant in any way, shape, or form. That's me getting a bit above my station. All right, yell at me. I'm not doing any of this. I'm so lazy. This is a blank HTML file. What goes in it? Y'all need to yell at me. I'm just going to keep being lazy all day. I'll tell you a story about my afternoon. I'll tell you about my plans later, but I'm not going to do any of the framing this out. I'm going to make y'all yell at me. It's like performance art, but streaming. You say, Jess, that's not very fair. You're going to make us do the work? Logan, impossibly, imperviously corrected. Logan's just like, yo. And other ones of you are saying, hey, come on. You gotta set the type. You gotta let us know. Doc type. See, this is what lets me be so lazy. Really, it's all y'all's fault. But I'm lazy. So we've got doc type. What else? Come on. What else goes in here? Oh, no. Yeah, the exclamation point's here. It's okay. Everything's fine. What else we got? You know what? I'm going to cheat a little bit. No. I'm not going to cheat at all. Y'all got to tell me where we're going. After the doc type HTML, there's a root element, and we haven't called it the root element yet. Oh, we've got somebody brand new who's saying, hey, from Germany. Hey, Tim Phil. That's a very, very, Tim and Phil. Very relaxing name. So we've said, here's our doc type. I'm telling the browser, I'm handing you a document. Look at y'all so fast. Carlos and Matisse are both like, hey, you need an HTML element as well. Yeah. Y'all are way ahead of me. Everything's fine. And if you don't remember these right away, that is super fun. What we're going to do is we're just going to do them again and again and again until your hands teach your brain to remember. Or maybe your heart. We got some stuff in here. And do you know what? The first thing Logan says, Jazz, I'm reasonably sure you're going to write this in English. So go ahead and specify, like we learned yesterday, specify for screen readers and specify for assistive technology. Oh, heck, that the language, we're going to put the language right here in our HTML tag, but that's English. Okay, that's chill. Oh, so we've got somebody who says, oh, they were almost finished with the legacy one and didn't finish it. If you want, the legacy one still exists. So you can go ahead and just finish that one up if it's easier for you. They teach pretty much the same thing in different ways. Really, the whole point of this is what's chiller for you. We got two things that we need to put. There's two more really, really big conceptual elements. The yeah. Let's go ahead. Let's put our head in here. That sounds a bit like my head out a window, but this is not exactly where we're going. Wait ahead. I think we'll put some stuff. Mel, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for your patience. Head and body. Oh, heck. I'm trying to close it before I open it. Those of you who are just joining us for the first time, hello. We're experimenting with a boot camp where it's completely free and it's open. So even if you don't register or whatever, it's not a big deal. And the main goal is just to give people a bunch of different supports for the already existing free code camp materials. The thing that I was really passionate about is no way to pay us. There is no money. Meta tags. Yeah. Let's go. So there's no way to pay us because that would be weird. Meta. Which meta? Ooh, what are them? We need some meta tags. I think we probably need a title. I'm going to be so terrible that I'm not even going to do it. What goes in a meta tag? Oh, dang, look at this. Can I copy out of a comment? Oh, I can't I can't copy out of a comment. I'm so lazy. Okay, so hang on. We've got we've got both Logan and Kinjal be like, I got you. So hair set, absolutely, completely correct. And we're going to set that to UTF-8 because that's the kind of a 98. Woof, very retro. And then I'm actually going to type it out this time. The HTTP equivalent. Was that one we learned last time? The content IE edge. What? What did we learn that last time? I'm going to leave that one off right now because I don't think we covered that, but I'm definitely going to do the name equals viewport. I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing in my heart. And the content, and this is how we're going to size stuff, how we're going to proportion it out. And here I'm going to say, the width is equal to it is equal to device width, initial scale is equal to 1 point plus. See, this is why I cheat and copy. All right, so we've got the meta text. With title, I'm just gonna say Angela Davis. And for folks who don't know Angela Davis, I believe, I try not to swear on this, but I'll be gentle. Angela Davis is just generally cool as hell. It's a very gentle swear, isn't it? Yeah. Let's keep this up because we're gonna need some information. Oh, I like this political activist, philosopher, academic scholar, and author, and a professor. How terrifyingly, gloriously intimidating. Initial. Have I misspelled initial wrong? Oh, is there a. Oh, go. The width is equal to a content width. And do you know what? These are just typos. They can't hurt us. So we got our title. Oh, do you know what? Let's go ahead and start framing out some things. Yeah? So where am I? Oh, I-N-I. How do I spell initial? I-N. I-T-I-L. You know what? If that's wrong, it's just wrong. Is it initial scale? Yeah. You know what? That's probably still spelled wrong, but I've got peace in my heart. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come into the body and we're going to start taking these off. Wait. I forgot something terribly important. I'm going to wait until y'all guess what terribly predictable, terribly important thing I've forgotten. I mean, you all already know. You're being gentle to see if I remember. So I'm coming into the body while I'm waiting to hear about the other important thing I forgot to tell my browser about. I forgot to tell my browser to look for something else that I have, didn't I? I'm going to come in here to main, and because number 1 here says, "Thank you so much, my love." So you say, "Look, Jess," and you all are always so patient when I'm wrong. You say, "We got Farouk saying, Jess, come on, Bab. Like, go ahead, just link your CSS style sheet." Okay, cool. Thank you very much. You are far too patient. Link the rel is, so what's the type of link? Style sheet. And if you forget this stuff, don't worry. It's just programming. It's just web development. It can't hurt you. That's the big thing I like to try and press is we're just learning stuff. If it takes a little while or if you make some mistake, that doesn't bother me much. And I hope it doesn't bother you too much. So, let's oh yeah, the main needs an ID of main. Thank you so much. Right. And this is mostly to make the pet tests pass, yeah? So let's just check and see. These are oh, there's nothing in the preview yet, is there? So there's gonna be so many tests. Look at all these tests. It's tempting to try and do all of these and then try and get all the checks at once. But we're going to talk a little bit about test-driven development. And that's the idea that you're programming or you're building something around a whole suite of tests, a whole array of tests, which is what we've got here. And here, I just want to sort of test as I go because I think I'm going to be more relaxed knowing, oh, this works. I can go to the next one. So I should have a main element with the idea of, I think that's probably going to pass. And I don't don't think the rest of this is gonna be let's do this. If I get a little tick on the first one, I'm gonna feel pretty happy. I'm gonna save our code. Remember last time I did not do that, which is the worst thing that can happen, which is nice because the worst thing that could happen didn't really hurt us much, did it? We got a little tick here, and that's fine. That's exactly what we expected. Everything's fine. So we're gonna come up. Well, see that first one, the test that that corresponds to just said, yeah, Bab, you're great. Let's go ahead. Let's get our preview back. Whoop. So we should see an ID of title. And I like this because this isn't telling us make a P, make an H1, make it. This is really describing in very human terms what we might want to do. So there, I should be able to see an element. Okay, so as a user, my user story, as a user, I should be able to come to this website and see an element that has text, which contains a string. Those of you in the JavaScript class, what is a string? Or anybody who knows, what's a string? So I should have an ID of title, an element with an ID of title that contains a string that describes the subject of my trivia page. Oh, like Dr. Norman Borlaug. Borlaug. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Did they give me the IPA? They do not give me the IPA. Where am I? Oh, so Simplicity is asking a really good question. Say, hey, you know what? I want a little bit of clarification here. Is this okay? Why do we need both body and main here? Isn't body enough? And right now they do start and end at the same place, and that's a really good point. So the main reason we use main is for accessibility and for search engines. Main is one of those semantic elements that carries meaning. When I create a main element, the stuff I put in there, I'm sort of yelling nicely and quiet. I'm yelling at the browser, hey, this is the most important thing on my page. If someone's coming to my page, go ahead and make sure if they're using assistive technology, it's easy for them to find this important stuff. Or if a search engine's looking around, let them know that this is the stuff my website's really about. So this is a really good question. So Dominique like, well, you know what? Cool. But why do we need to give the main an ID of main right here? Why? What's the purpose of this ID? So that's a really good question. So it's true that we could go into the CSS and do stuff with this ID as an ID selector. But really, I think that we're using these IDs because we've got automated tests. When you say, oh, please check my work, there's not a person, it's definitely not me going tick, 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 tick. So really, I'm going to come deep breath down and come all the way down. What's happening with these tests is a program that someone else wrote is saying, oh, hey, I'm going to check that there's a main element and that has the ID of main. Yeah. Carlos, as ever, is far clearer than me, coming back to Simplicity's question and say, do you know what? Body contains all of the visible content of a document, whereas main is just going to be sort of the most important bits. So, and keep these questions coming. We can be super, super chill. Oh, would it be could we also give body the role of main and more generally do search engines respect ARIA roles? So this comes back to the guidance we saw in MDN and the guidance from my dear friend, which is that if there's a semantic HTML element that lets you do something like communicates main, go ahead and prefer to use the HTML element that does that. So if there's an element that carries the same semantic meaning, always prefer that one. Do search engines respect ARIA roles? That's a separate question, and I'm so sorry, I have no idea. It's very exciting. Yeah, where am I? Where are we? What's going on? We take a deep breath. Oh, and come all the way back up. So here we've got a bunch of stuff we can do. And I say, hey, oh, we didn't even do that title yet, did we? I'm going to take a wild guess that maybe the element I personally want to, I'm not the boss of you, but I think I want to use an H1 here. And preferring the semantic element over sort of crafting another way, even ARIA rules, is something I'm going to type it in here that my friend Bruce, it's very familiar, my friend Bruce, from Bruce Lawson. And the tip is built in eats bolt on Jiggly. This is a weird way to say, hey, if you can use the semantic element, it's always going to be better than something weird you built or something weird, even like ARIA roles. They're a little weird. Something weird that somebody else built. Angela Davis, who, again, just cool as heck. And we need that ID here. Yeah, the ID. Where am I? The ID here was of title, wasn't it? Okay. What do we think? I'm like 70% sure that the second test is going to pass. Whew, let's come all the way down. Let's run our tests. Hmm. Okay, the second test didn't pass. Oh, okay, but these ones about the title did. Did I skip something important? No? Okay. I think the second test is probably about this. So I want a figure or a div element with the ID of image div. So here I want either a section a box that carries semantic meaning, figure, or just a box. And generally, whenever we can, we're going to add the most semantic meaning we can. I'm going to make a figure element. Where am I? I know you're letting me know to do the ID. I'm not forgetting it, I promise. And that's got the ID of image div. Okay. MG div. And you notice that this looks real janky, doesn't it? Like it doesn't look great yet. And that's because, and technically, you could probably do this whole thing and not use any CSS. Oh no, we do need to use some CSS. Ha ha ha. But I'd really love to see you all putting a lot of time and a lot of creativity into here. Because these are projects that you can use in your portfolio that you can show a potential boss or a potential investor to say, should be image div. Oh, it's because I need all of these. Okay, that's not going to work till I have all of them. I should have a figure and image div with an ID of image div, and I should have an image element in there. We can do that. Everything's chill. So I'm going to make a really, really boring tribute page, and I'm not even going to do all of it. Oh, so Mass is asking, hey, would the figure go inside the title? So it'll technically work if I put the figure inside the H1, but I'm going to keep them separate, just sort of best practices. And also, it's going to be a little bit easier for me to see. An image, yeah, would probably sit on this on its own line anyway. And we're going to use CSS to move everything around. So inside this figure, I want an image. And we've already talked about why you never, ever, ever want a hot link, which is just borrowing the address of an image from someplace else. And you must never, never, never do that, except we're going to do it this time. Do as I say, not as I do. And especially not to Wikipedia. They're sweethearts. I'm only going to use this in my project. It's not going to go anyplace else. Oh, do they not allow? Oh, that's very. I can't tell if they disallow hot linking or that. That is the biggest picture in the world. That is the biggest picture in the world. We've got to fix that. So, and the alt text here, I want to check, is it doctor or professor? I'm pretty fussy about people getting their titles right. Well, look at that. Lenin Peace Prize. Okay, so there's a PhD. This is a doctor. So Mitch is asking a really fun question that comes off of Mezel's question. So, hey, should H1 only have text as a general rule? Yeah, your H1, it's a heading and a heading is text. Just put text inside it. Are there times where I would put something else that's not an H1 in that's not text in H1? I wouldn't really. Like just like a P tag, those semantic elements, those elements that have meaning are saying, hey, I've got a string, I've got text, and I'm going to go ahead and serve you text. Logan's asking such a good question, which is saying, hey, what should we do instead of hot linking? And I think right now you're probably going to have to hot link. You'd have to find hosting and put the image up on the internet someplace. And we haven't talked about that yet. Oh, this is a good time to ask you all about something, though. One thing I wanted to know is can you give me recommendations? Can you give me suggestions of things that we haven't learned yet in this boot camp? Or maybe we won't learn in this boot camp about things you'd like to know. And I think one question that's come up a lot is about hosting to say, oh, hey, Jess, or hey, Ramon as well. How do I get my stuff on the internet? Where do I put this image? Where do I put my HTML file? So if you have any other things to say, oh, I'd like to know more about like what's the console, just go ahead and drop that in. And I'll try and take some sneaky screenshots. Well, I'll try and take some notes later, lazy as I am. So, Dr. Angela Davis is the correct. So, a photo of Dr. Angela Davis giving a lecture. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And that's too big. That's too big. I'm going to use this ID. I'm not. Oh heck! Everything's too crowded. Everything's too crowded. Everything's fine. So, I think the instructions gave me some instructions for my. So my image. Oh, that's not my image. Is that my image? Oh, so I should have a separate image. Oh no, my image. I'm being rubbish. I'm all over the place. Everything's fine. Oh, Logan, this is really good to say. Oh, I would really like to know about hosting, but also version control. Fabulous news, my loves. So tomorrow we've got a guest speaker who's so smart and so cool, and Ramon's going to be hosting because he's hosting all the coolest people, isn't he? That's not true. The people I get to talk to are very cool as well. But we're going to have somebody joining us from GitHub, and GitHub is a type of version control, and that's going to be a way to save your work and all that. So, oh, heck, where am I? So here we've got, I neglected to add an ID here because these tests all want ID, don't they? The ID I want within the image div, I'm looking at number 4, you should see an image element with a corresponding ID of image. Okay. Ooh, actually, sorry, you heard me type really loud, but that's because somebody requested a session, and I think we can actually get that sorted right away. So I was just pushing the responsibility of getting that to someone else because I'm the worst. Well, not even pushing, nicely asking, which really is a reminder to myself, where am I? So this image, and if we come way down here, I saw the image. Oh, so I need to resize. Oh, this is hard. This is hard, isn't it? So my image should use max width and height to resize responsibly relative to the width of the parent element without exceeding its original size. What? What? So I'm looking at number 8, and that sounds like a lot. So let's break this into different pieces. Our image, cool. So we're going to do something to this. I'm okay with that. Should have these two properties attached to it, maximum width and height. Okay. This element should use these two properties. Those are CSS properties, so I know I'm going to do something in CSS. Everything's fine. Because this is a lot of technical jargon. And now it says it should resize responsively. So that means I'm going to set the maximum width, and I'm going to set the height of this. But I'm going to set it in a way that's relative. So not pixels, but a relative. So here I think view height or view width, or I think percentage because I'm very lazy. And let's try percentage here. I'm going to come into styles. We're going to come right here. And I'm going to use the ID selector. Oh, I need to actually specify what ID I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to say for the image. And it told me, oof, this is too many windows. Everything's terrible. You go away, HTML. Not forever, just for a minute. So this image, I'm going to say, hey, where's number 8? Number 8 gave us our instructions. I'm going to use the max width. I think I'm going to set this to 50%. Let's see what that did in the preview. Ooh. Oh, it didn't do a single heckin' thing. Hey, because I got the syntax wrong. Oh, do you know what? We've got somebody else saying, hey, I'd like to better understand accessibility in general. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and book it. Would it be weird to book an extra guest session? So something maybe not on a Thursday, but that's back to back with one of our lessons, just because I've got a really good guest. So Jeff is saying, oh, I'd like to better understand accessibility in general. I've got a really, really good expert, but I'm so sorry they're not available on Thursdays. So it's optional and the video is always available. And we said height as well. You know what? I want it to be responsive. Ooh. Oh, heck. Hmm. If I say 50% here, it'll get squished. I genuinely don't remember. What's the format for saying that the height should be proportional? Ambien height auto. Carlos. It sounds like I'm fussing at you, but yeah. Well, so folks are saying maybe 100%. If I did 100%, it would actually be 100% of the viewport. Whoop. So it's going to stretch out a little weird. I use it all the time myself, but auto is what we want here. Thank you so much, my loves. That's terribly unfamiliar. My loves, my esteemed web development colleagues. Let's get our index back and our style. We're splitting our attention all. And check this out. It said it wanted this resizing responsively, and it's just done that right away. Oh gosh, you're right. Jeff, I'm a goof. And Jeff points out that, like, Jess, you're talking about the wrong thing. 100 view height would be the viewport, whereas 100% is the size of the parent element. You are infinitely patient. Thank you so much. Where am I? Oh gosh, I'm modeling poor behavior when I keep saying I'm rubbish, because I wouldn't like y'all saying you're, although none of you are actually rubbish. So I think, where am I? I think we should see a test pass for this. Ooh, and our image element should be centered within its parent. Okay, I got you. Margin auto. What am I doing? You don't seem very centered to me. Okay, you do seem kind of centered there. Let's check and see if that test passed, because that doesn't feel like it's working. Let's run our tests. And do you know what? Even if stuff doesn't feel like it's working, if it's working, I'm going to get there. We've got a ton of stuff and we're not going to do all of this on stream because I'm mean. Okay. And Cassian makes a really good point to say, hey, you know what? If we didn't say height auto, isn't that the same as sort of the default if we didn't mention the height property at all? I think that's true. I think it would default to keeping the proportion roughly the same. But it's asked us to specify. Oh gosh, Carlos, after my own heart. Zero auto? Zero auto? Let's check. Well, let's see if that worked by itself. Fig caption. We haven't done a fig caption. We haven't done our image caption. We don't have tribute info. We don't have a link. Oh, heck. That's weird. Why can't I see the... Our image should be centered within the parent, and it's not. Okay, let's run that test again now that I've added Carlos's 0, because I think still not centered with its parent. Whenever we're not sure, what do? Center an element in parent. Look at this. The nice thing about these is you this looks like a lot of different center and image element and a parent. There's always a hmm. That's a lot of stuff. Hmm. Let's try this. So Carlos is suggesting position relative. Oh, and that sounds like I am putting you out, and then if this doesn't work, that's on you. No, if this doesn't work, that's not on anyone. Run our tests. Still not centered within a parent, are you? Okay. So margin, auto. And we're just going to goof around and see if this works. If it doesn't, whoa. Was it display block? No, no. Yeah, images are inline now. Oh, do you know what? Carlos, you make a good point. Images naturally. Are images inline? I think they might be. Yeah, they want us to use display block. Oh, hey, look at this documentation. So let's go ahead and add display block. And remember that inline are the elements that naturally want to hang out on the same line. So margin, this is very, do you all know the term pair programming? Position, let's leave that position. Um, hmm. Let's keep it, I don't feel centered. Oh, Platypus says, well, let's try and comment out height and see what happens. Yeah. And comments in CSS. Yeah, that's comments in CSS. That feels more like it. So position relative we can get rid of as well. So pair programming is when there's two people hanging out and one person is driving, so they've got their hands on the keyboard, and the other person is saying, hey, do this or do that. And what we're actually doing is mob programming. So all of y'all are like, just no, just this. And I love it. So we got to, oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry about that. I just took a COVID test, so it's just me being feeble very generally, I'm not sick and concerned. Where am I? So we're saying maybe bringing margin auto now that this is on its own. Oh, everything's fine and everything's going to be fine. And we think the height auto might not be hurting it. We want to bring that back. And this is the really cool thing. So it can feel a lot lonelier when you're stuck by yourself. Because really, I would have, and if I was stuck by myself, like, oh no, this is the worst, grumble. I wouldn't be too grumbly, but I'd be much less chirpy. But pair programming, two people working together, makes everything a lot more relaxing. And mob programming like this is really helpful as well. So just a bunch of friends yelling about. Also, look at this. Look at this. There's so much going on here. Look at all these tick, 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 yes boxes. I am very relaxed. There's still tons of work to do because look at the actual page. Angela deserves better than this. So I need to do a lot of work to make this sort of good enough where I feel like I can turn it in. But It's getting a lot more relaxing. Let's see where. Oh, I'm gonna. Where can I get some space, Angela? I'm so sorry. I'm going to Dr. Davis. I'm gonna shrink you a little bit. Just be still in the center. I'm gonna come down. Where did we stop? I got the image. Within our image div, I want to have an image caption that describes the textual content. Yeah. Whoop. And I'm going to turn on. Well, I'm just going to hope that I'm going to turn on Do Not Disturb. I'm so sorry about that. If you can hear boop boop of my computer in the background, it's a very relaxing boop boop. So we're going to have a caption. Goodbye, CSS. Let's spread this out. Let's get a little space. So we've got a figure. What semantic element? Yeah, what element that carries meaning with it would be a really good way to do an image caption or a figure caption. Does the does a fig caption element go within the image div? Do I have an image? Oh, cool. Within here. Okay. So image div within the one. So I'm going to have okay. So if I'm going to use fig caption, that's a semantic HTML element. Y'all see Kinjal behind the scenes be like, Jess, come on, you know this. Come on. You don't guess. Kinjal's now saying, oh, I guess, being completely right, saying, no. Fig caption goes inside the figure and the image is in there as well. Y'all are absolutely right. Logan's got me as well to be like, look, you put it inside the figure and after the image tag. What are you doing, Jess? Carlos has got it as well. All of y'all just patient as the day is long. Caption, where am I? And I'm going to set the ID of this to ID of image caption. A happy developer is a lazy developer. And let's talk about this as well. So I've told you, I've been so mean to you. Well, I've been consistently mean to all of you just for funsies. But one of the things I've been super, super mean about is you must always have alt text. You must always have alt text. Except here, I think that. Oh, hello. We've got some brand new people over on YouTube and on Twitch. Hello, loves. We're running a completely free programming bootcamp. If you want to join, if you just want to hang out on stream, no pressure. Oh, thank you very much. So I've been stressing you always need to have alt text for accessibility. And I gave you one special exception. So, if you've got a purely ornamental, if you've got an image on your site just for visual decoration, you don't need to have alt text. But one thing I'm going to say as well is I think if the alt text and our figure caption, so a figure caption is a description of the picture that connects to it. I think it would be very annoying if I was using a screen reader and it came and it said, here's an image. And then it read the alt text, a photo of Dr. Angela Davis reading a lecture. Here's the caption, a photo of Dr. Angela Davis reading. So I think because we've got this really the same description twice, I might take away this alt text just so folks who see this don't necessarily have to see it twice. I'm using the semantic element fig caption, which carries the meaning, here's the description of this. So I think I might leave the alt text off just this one time, even though, except for a couple of special exceptions, you must always have nothing bad. I was going to say nothing bad happens if you forget it, but you make your website less accessible and you will make me personally very sad. So image caption that describes the image being shown. Okay. I'm going to come down and check and see because I'm sure there's a test. I should have a fig caption or div. I could have had either. Okay. I think these three are all going to go positive, don't you? I think we're all going to get tick, 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 tick. Run our tests. Oh, look at all these. Tick, tick, tick. All of these little check marks. Isn't this glorious? Oh, and do you know what? Carlos makes a really good if we wanted to, we could absolutely give different information in the alt text. And so we could say, "Oh, here's some more information about this." We could have those diverge if we didn't want them to be the same and wanted to include. Let's go ahead and say this. So, let's add the alt text back and let's give some extra information there. Angela Davis is standing at a podium wearing a black jacket over a blue shirt. Speaking with her arms outstretched. Yeah. Oh gosh, and Cassian's saying, "Do you know what? I think having alt with an empty string is more useful." Yeah. And remember, strings are a piece of text. Yeah, so we've got this very cool picture of her. Oh, and we've got um a slide with text is in the Yeah. So here, that's a long alt text. Our alt text and fig caption are different. And I think that's probably we want to give as much useful information as possible and letting the visitor know that Angela Davis looks cool as heck in here. It's probably not gonna hurt. So I think that and it's best practice. I don't want to teach y'all to ignore them. Where am I? Where are we? What's going on? Oh, here it says, "Hey, don't forget to link to your style sheet," which I was stubbornly trying not to do. Which of these have we not done yet? So we've got a figure, we've got an image caption. All right, cool. We should see an element with the corresponding ID of tribute info with textual content describing the subject. I've got a pretty good idea of what we're going to put in here. So this is not going to be a child of our figure. It's not part of the picture. I think this is a P element, don't you? So this is going to be text describing stuff about Dr. Davis. Um, and I think a P element makes a lot of sense for this. And I'm going to cheat here and say, oh, I'm going to cheat. If I catch any of y'all doing this, I will frown very hard. But because I'm just doing this on stream, I'm going to steal the text as well. This is plagiarism to the 37th degree. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's so bad. Um, because I don't want to hear from you. I want to see what you think about stuff. Do we still do break? Do we still do that? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think we really do the break anymore, do we? It's a bit of a shame. So we're just cheating right now. Um she's super super cool. She's done more than 10 books. Dang. I don't think I'm going to read 10 books in my life the pace I'm going. Oh, that's a good question while we're hanging out. Are you any of you reading anything that's really exciting right now? Ooh, so we've got somebody suggesting maybe using more than one paragraph element. But I've had the brilliant Kinjal suggest maybe we want to space this out using CSS later. Ooh. So both of those are possible. I like to keep my text in the same P element just because it's part of the same piece of text. And that kind of flow is going to be a little bit easier for us. But right now, let's go ahead and let's just do one paragraph to keep it simple and lazy. That's not quite enough information, but oh wait, I bet we need an ID, don't we? An ID of tribute info. I was saying I'm not going to do all this for you, but I'm doing all of the uninspired stuff. Yeah. So what are y'all reading? So Carlos is saying, "Oh, I'm reading CSS and JavaScript books." That's exciting. I mean, definitely chill out. Oh gosh, you're reading Deep Work by Cal Newport. Okay, it's not in here, but it is definitely up there. Oh, we should definitely maybe set up a book club channel or something to chat about books in the. There's a social channel, isn't there, in the Discord? Is there? I mean, general social. I've read Deep Work. It's really interesting. Where? Okay. So I think that we should see these tribute info tests start to pass. Okay, so we still don't have all of these. We need an image div, an image caption, tribute. We don't have a tribute link yet. So that's not gonna tick off quite yet. I am reading very intellectual, very heavy, very technical books, which is to say I'm reading a bunch of old Clive Barker horror short stories. And then I'm trying to learn Japanese, so I'm reading a bunch of manga. Okay, so we still need our link. Here's about our link. Here's about our link. And our image should have a max with, okay, our image should have a max with 100%. Oh, it does have the height of auto. That's quite nice. Let's change that max width right now. And then let's add our link. And I think, even though this isn't very good and yours will be much better, that should be enough to sort of set us free. Oop, very crowded. Our max width is going to be 100% here. That feels very big. That feels very big. Oh, wow. Somebody's reading. I have not ever read Dune. So even though I think that's far too big, our image should have a max width of 100%. What's gone wrong here? 100% doesn't mean anything, does it? I was thinking it's very strange that that's gotten so much larger than it should be. Now, everything except for our tribute link should pass tribute link. Okay, it still wants the link there. This is about the tribute link. This is about the tribute link. This is about the. So close to done. I could see done. Okay, and our image width being. I think we can add our link. I think we can add our link, and then we're safe. Well, in as safe as you get in the big, wide, scary world. Let's send our CSS away for a minute. Obviously, with your projects, you're going to want to style these beautifully and have them look super cool. But I don't have a cool bone in my body, so we'll just leave it a little bit boring for now. And you know what? Sometimes when your life is busy, just getting a test to pass, just getting a check, sometimes that's good enough. So let's go ahead and create a link to an outside. Okay. So let's make a link to the University of California, Santa Cruz, which is where she's a professor. That must be such a scary, cool job being a professor. I was going to say, can you imagine teaching a bunch of people all the time? Oh, Tiffany's reading The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I've never heard of that. What's that like? Oh, you all are reading extremely cool stuff. I'm a bit jealous. I say, living in a world where I could easily read cool stuff. So we're going to make a link that links to, and remember, so, oh, heck. So we start with an A that's saying, hey, I want to have an anchor tag and a ref here. And the ref is where we're throwing the anchor to another site and leaving this chain that connects them. We need to go ahead and close our anchor tag. Otherwise, it's not going to do anything. Oh, you know what? It sounds like everybody's read these books by Paulo Coelho except for me. Oh, all the cool kids are reading it. I should too, huh? That sounded sarcastic. I'm really out loud jealous. I want to read cool books and be cool. We want to get our corresponding ID of tribute link. Yeah. Oh, Tiffany says it's a delightful book. What an absolutely relaxing and beautiful way to describe something. We might have all of these, and if we have all of these pass, we can just wander off. Oh All of these look like they're passing. All of these look like they're oh. Ah, okay, this is still an issue with the link, and it says, "Hey, does anybody remember what this does when you say the target? TARG. When you set the target, you go into your anchor tag and set the target attribute to blank. What does that do?" Yeah. Oh, Tsukino, thank you so much. It says, "I got you. Do you know what?" That goes into a new tab. Tsukino, I was gonna ask, like, is your name coming from media? Because I think I am reading a comic book that has a character with the same name. So I think now maybe we can run our tests, and maybe this is good enough to pass. Ah. Isn't that rewarding? Isn't that satisfying? Where it says, "Hey, you know what? You finished. Boom, boom. You technically finished one of these." Oh yeah. So Sakino's saying, "Oh, you know what? The name comes from Sailor Moon." I'm reading Sailor Moon right now. It's really hard to read. It's hard to read in Japanese, but it's so pretty. The art is so pretty. Amazing. So technically, this passes, and technically correct is one of the funnest ways to be correct. But if I wanted to be able to show this off in an interview, I'd probably want this to be a little bit more complete. I'd probably want this to feel a little bit different. So they've styled it very nicely here. If you just have time to get all your tests to pass, that's fine. Just passing is good enough, and good enough is good enough. But if you have the time and if you have the energy, not necessarily right now, later on, if you do have that time and energy, I would love to politely entreat you to get weird with this. You want to make it accessible and you want to make it readable. But the whole point of building stuff for the web is to get as creative and as weird as you like. Since we had a very, very chill day today, let's make this worse. Let's make this terrible. Let's talk homework. As always, your homework is to try and be as gentle with yourself as possible. These are all new concepts. There's a whole lot of new terms. It's really frustrating. I forget all of them all the time, and I've been doing this since mumble, mumble, mumble a long time. Oh, somebody's recommending Akira. I haven't read the comics yet. No, sorry. I just finished Demon Slayer, which was quite nice. Wait, your homework is not to read Demon Slayer. Actually, when I say relax and be gentle to yourself, that could mean read comics. I'm chill with that. So, your first most important homework is to be as gentle with yourself as possible while you learn. The second piece of homework is try and get started with this project. You don't have to finish it today and you don't have to finish it this week, but getting started with this and keeping up with these is going to make it a little bit easier than yours. Oh, so no say is saying, "Oh, my test says," and this is fine. You say, "Oh, when I completed this, it said 40% and mine said 20." That's because I didn't finish the first project that I worked on with you. I finished it before, but doing it together with you, I didn't finish it. So I didn't get that 20%. There's 5 projects in all. So each of them should be 20%, 20%, 20%. And when you finish all the projects, you get a banner and a party. The You don't get a party from the systems, but you do get a first name, last name, has completed the free Codecamp web development certification. You get a very, very fancy certification, which I'd love to see y'all show off. Amazing, amazing. Oh, we're just recommending manga to each other. This is somebody saying Jujutsu Kaisen, which I've never heard before. I'm so sorry. Um, if any of you are really into manga, I really enjoyed Demon Slayer, and the comics are all out now, so you can see how it ends because the anime is really slow. Okay, part of your homework is to go be delightful nerds on your own time. I will talk to you about comic books and TV and movies and nerdy stuff in the Discord and on the forum, and the next time Ramon and I come and bother you. Homework, please be as chill to yourself as you can. Thank you very much. And go ahead and try and get a good start on this. If you want to become for the guest session tomorrow, it's going to start an hour earlier than this session did today. Yeah. So the time you logged on today, it's an hour earlier. That's chill. And that's going to be a really, really fantastic, really brilliant person coming to talk to us about version control and GitHub. And that's going to be super, super chill. And I am going to let you all go. You are all far too delightful and far too lovely. And thank you again. Bye, team.